everybody, welcome back to the Fielder Report. I'm Kathy Fielder, and I'm here to talk about something that's probably a pretty dynamic situation in your life, because I know it is in mine. My son started back to school this week, virtually of course, and I have to say that I did a lot of preparation before him going back, and I still am kind of ironing out some of the kinks, trying to figure out what is the best way to be effective when everybody's working from home, doing all these Zoom calls. What do you wear? How do you stay comfortable? You're continually having to change things up, I feel like. And so I wanted to share some of my thoughts, how I prepared, what I'm doing now, the changes that I've made this week. And I think that you'll really enjoy, and I hope that you get something out of it that's really effective for your household. So one of the most important things to consider to have an effective Zoom call is to make sure your lighting is very good. This is my favorite desk in my home where I can sit, have a great Zoom, and have wonderful lighting on my face, and it really does make an impact on the overall feeling and experience of the people that you're talking to. It's a really important part to remember, and I think it's also important to remember that you have on great clothes that make you look professional, but are still super comfortable and easy to wear. You know, one of the key parts of studying and working from home and being effective for you or for your children is to make sure that you have designated areas for your work. We have a library where we spend our time reading and talking about literature, and then I set him up a desk with every supply that he would need, from markers to pencil sharpeners to glue to scissors, a printer so that he can work effectively and quickly, and it's all within reach. Paper, colored paper, all of these things that help him be able to focus more on what he's being told rather than looking for what he needs. You know, one little inspirational tip I can tell you that I've done for Harrison, I have little notes. They're called happy notes. You can pick up all kinds of fun little things, obviously. I have a great thing here that I just can write him notes on every day. These happen to be sticky, so I can stick them on the inside of his laptop. So before he opens that or gets on that Zoom, he can just see, hey man, I'm proud of you. I know you're working hard. This is something to remember. It's hard for our kids too. They're not really designed to be the masters of their school education, and honestly, most of us parents aren't either. And so we all have to work together, and little places to inspire them or tell them they're doing a great job and let them know that you really appreciate their hard work goes a long way in making both of your days so much better and so much more effective. So, you know, what I've found is that everybody's school schedule, just from talking to my friends or work colleagues, there are little scheduled breaks in for the kids, which are so important. And so, you know, I was talking a little bit about my schedule and scheduling in those times that I can make these Zoom calls whenever he doesn't have something going on. I also think it's very important that you give them the ability to take some downtime, and you spend maybe a little time that you might not necessarily usually do, of course, making sure that they're getting that break, that mental break, that physical break, whether it's outside, whether it's building some Legos. I actually just turned all my tech off yesterday, and I spent 20 minutes just building Legos with Harrison, and it was really a great bonding time for both of us. We really enjoyed it. So I think a very key element to understand is that you really need to become pretty rigid with your schedule. Another thing that I've done is I've literally set up places in almost every room in my house that I can work. From my library, I have a desk in my kitchen. It's small, but it's effective and it's organized. I have a desk in my bedroom, so if I need to wake up early and get a little bit done, I can. Harrison's got a desk here in the family room, and so I think designating those areas and making sure that they're the most effective that they can be so that you can be effective, because we're all kind of in this different place where we're working on the fly a little bit, and while we're trying to be scheduled, you just don't know what's going to come up within the day. So you want to make sure you have these little nooks that you can just sit down and get stuff done that you need to get done. So speaking of cultivating some of these workspaces that you really need to have in order to be effective right now, for me, one of those spaces is a desk in my bedroom. Now, it's not for everybody, I realize that. Some of us may not want to see and think of work when we walk into our room. But for me, a pretty little desk that's kind of my place to sit and get organized on those mornings whenever I don't really want to just get up and get going and maybe even go downstairs. So a weekend morning per se on a Saturday, I can sit down, I might write a couple notes, I have my laptop, I can shoot off a couple of emails if I need to, and it's just that little space that actually to me is just really pretty and inviting. And so I think that having, again, cultivating and thinking about how you function best, especially right now when we're really using our homes as a workplace too, is very, very essential for us to just be as happy and as well adjusted as we can during this time. So I mentioned earlier that I created little spaces throughout my home where people have their own space to work. The kitchen desk is my desk. It's small, but it's effective, it's organized, it's where the mail lands in a drawer so I don't have to see it all the time and think of that other task that I need to get done. It has pretty pens, it has a journal, it has my laptop so that I can easily command my home from here. I think now more than ever, like I was saying, it's so important that we all have effective spaces in which to work so that we can be the most productive that we can be. You know, if you're like me, I think this first week of school has been extraordinary. I've actually really enjoyed spending time working with Harrison and helping him with his assignments, but it is a different lifestyle for sure. And summer is coming to an end and we're all contemplating what this fall looks like for us. And we don't really know. I mean, some of us are going back to school, some of us are not, some of us are gonna go back and we might end up coming home for a bit. And so I just wanna encourage you to really spend some time thinking how your family works best. I know I spent a couple of weeks just really considering how we could be most effective at home for all of us. I encourage you to visit the blog at kathyfielder.com. We have amazing tips. We have advice from my dear friend Dr. Melanie Mills on how to not judge yourself and the guilt that we're all facing. We're doing our best, and I encourage you to visit, enjoy, and get some inspiration. Thanks for visiting us on the Fielder Report. Don't forget, if you're on YouTube, please hit subscribe and enjoy.